Evening all. Who says puddings can't be done in a barbecue? What, you? Well, you're wrong. We've got our Kamado grill set up and it's just like an oven. So why not make the most of it and make ourselves a rhubarb crumble? So I've got myself 400 grams of rhubarb that we're going to pop into our Dolmio pasta dish. It really does say that at the bottom, but it'll be perfect for making this crumble in. I'm going to cut these into about 1-inch pieces. Oops. Need to make sure you go all the way through before I make too much of a mess. Let's pop some of them into the dish. And just finish up cutting up these last pieces. Oops a daisy. There's always an escapee, but it's not, it's ending up in our pot tonight. Now, I'm not really done puddings before on the barbecue, but I just want to prove that it can be done. And I actually think that cooking it in that charcoal oven, it's going to give it a new sort of depth of flavour, something completely different. So we've lined the bottom of our dish with our chopped up rhubarb. We're going to hit that with a couple of tablespoons of white sugar just for sweetness. A splash of water, not too much because we don't want it too soggy, just to get them steaming. And money's always on the honey. I've had to start buying big jars because of the amount of stuff we're doing. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of honey over the top. I know that looks like 2 tablespoons, but the first one didn't have a lot of honey in, so it's just over 1 tablespoon, shall we say. Let's agree to differ. Right, I'm going to take our rhubarb. So we've got our grill set up. It's set up from a previous cook, but there's charcoal down in the bottom. I've got the heat deflector plate in, and we'll get the lids closed up. I nearly lost my blowtorch there. I've got the oven running at the minute at around 170 degrees Celsius. So while that's running, we can get to making our crumble topping. I've also got 4 Rhubarb and Eating apples that we're going to dice up in a minute, and we're going to drop them in. We're going to leave the skin on for that extra texture. So let's get on with our crumble topping. In our bowl, I've got 200 grams of plain flour, and flour to fat ratio is exactly the same. So we have 200 grams of cubed unsalted butter. I'm going to take that, I'm going to start to break that butter down into the crumble mix. It's a tad on the wet side, so we may just need to add a little bit more flour just to bring that up to a crumble consistency. I shall just pop to the kitchen and get some. Right, these measurements are always a bit of a guide, but cooking's all about feel. So if it don't feel right, add a little bit more. It was just too wet for me. It wasn't really making that crumble consistency. Just a little bit more. Just add it till you're happy with the sort of crumb texture. That's starting to look more like it. I want nice big crumbs because Grace really likes the crumble topping. In fact, she'd probably rate the topping than the stuff that's inside it. So that's looking far more like breadcrumbs, as you can see. That's nice. If you wanted to squeeze it, it would start to form, but then instantly crumbles apart. That's the base of the crumble, but to make it extra special, we've got ourselves 1 cup of raw cane sugar, demerara sugar, and that's going to add a real nice crunch, caramelly feel to this crumble, make it nice and sweet. And then for a bit more crunch, I've got 1 cup of porridge oats. Add that into the crumble, give it all a mix. Crumble topping ready to go. The rhubarb's been in for about 10 minutes, so I thought it's about time we added some apples. I say these are 4 Braben eating apples. And we're just going to take out the core and then give them a coarse dice. We are leaving the skin on, 1 for colour, 2 for texture. And because these are eating apples as opposed to cooking apples, they are quite a bit sweeter, so shouldn't need much sugar adding. We've got plenty of sugar in the crumble mix, so I shall shut up now and get to cutting. Right, that's all of our apples chopped up, and we've got 1 stray pip. We've got our rhubarb blipping away. It's nicely broken down, and into that we're going to add our diced eating apples. Oops, it's a stray one. That's for Buster. Some apple bust. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. In fact, I'll take my dose. We're going to stir that rhubarb and apple through. We're going to give them apples 5 minutes. I need to learn to stop talking with my mouth full. Then we'll put on our crumble topping. Apples and rhubarb been in for 5 minutes now together. It's time to get that crumble topping on. I think it's going to be easy if I come round that side of the camera. I'll just squeeze past my lights. Beautiful crumble topping. I'm going to take that crumble topping. We might not use it all, I might keep some back and save it for another day. But as I said earlier, Grace really likes the crumble topping. So plenty of that on there, won't go amiss. I think we're probably going to use half. Of that crumble mix. we'll shut that lid up. With your crumble mix, that other half don't go to waste. Pop it in a plastic bag, pop it in the freezer. When you're ready to make a quick dessert, frozen berries, apples, things like that, take them out, pop them in a dish. You've got your frozen crumble ready to go. Quick pudding on the barbecue. Thank Big Les Barbecue for that tip, eh? If you are enjoying it, don't forget that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It'd be ace if you could press that. I'm trying so hard to make this channel grow. See you soon. Beautiful crumble. The root colour from the rhubarb coming through. Can't wait to get this in my mouth. Smells fantastic. Last job of the day. Crumble. Who remembers crumble at your school dinners? I can guarantee you didn't have a crumble that tasted as good as this. Nice bit of crumble. I could make custard, but I'm not going to make custard. I'm just going to buy some fresh custard. Drizzle custard over the top. Delish. Let's hopefully not scold myself. Get a bit of the crumble, a bit of that rhubarb apple. That is good. That is really good. Buster's getting concerned because he's not quite sure if he's getting any. I hope you've enjoyed the cook. It's a nice simple one. You can do puddings in the barbecue, so go on, give it a try. Then winter nights will be coming soon, so you want something that's nice and comforting. This is really comforting. Right, so I had to have another piece, it's so good. See that subscribe button there, somewhere over here, hopefully. Give that a smash. Look out for them future videos. Leave me some comments down below. What other puddings could I do in the barbecue, eh? See you soon, guys.